I used to kind of be interested in self-help. I mean, as far back as the 90s, I remember my best friend watching Oprah religiously. But self-help never helped me. And here's why I think it might be keeping you stuck.
I'm the kind of person that believes you should always make decisions with your heart and soul.
I do think that we do drag our own selves down. We put all the energy into the negativity and amplify it.
What I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have.
Hi, I'm Tracy, and this is The Tracy Marshall Show. Here's why self-help is garbage and is actually setting women back. Like everyone, I've had my fair share of struggles. One of the hardest seasons of my life was my senior year of high school when my mom died. I've had career highs and lows. I've had ups and downs in parenting and in marriage, and even some of my own health issues. And of course, sometimes self-help has caught my attention. You know, it seems attractive and easy. But if you peel back the veneer, it's empty. It's like the infomercial version of life, where if you just believe some magical thought, suddenly everything gets better. So today, I want to look at some of the top self-help lies. And as we think about these mantras, I want you to not just think about yourself or your friends, but think about the narcissist you know. And use that kind of as a litmus test. Like, if it's the kind of advice that a narcissist would love, then maybe it's not helping us either. You know, do these self-help mantras, do they feed narcissism? Do they make us turn inward? Or do they encourage a healthy mindset? Let's run through the list and I'll make my case. Let me know what you think in the comments. Self-help lie number 1, you are enough. Along with its inbred cousin, everything you need is already inside you. This is a feel-good mantra that women hear constantly, especially on social media.
I want you to remind yourselves of the truth, because the truth is you are loved and worthy and enough as you are today.
It's you are enough just exactly as you are. You're enough today. The biggest problem with this is that it implies that we don't need to grow or change. Like, what if you are some raging narcissist? Are you enough? Is that okay if you just believe you're enough? What if you're unkind, selfish, or what if you have some destructive habits in your life? Is that okay? Are you enough? Do you just stop there? Sometimes you're not enough. You need help. And that's not shameful. That's just being human. Trying to find everything within yourself and always be enough, it's exhausting. I've been able to start a couple of nonprofits over the years. First, I helped start and build a grammar school, and later a political nonprofit. And honestly, when I look back on those seasons of my life, some of the greatest lessons I learned were the times I had to reach out and ask people. I had to say, I have no idea what I'm doing here, and I need help. Not only did I make some of my best friends for life, but we were able to bring our strengths together and build something bigger. But to get there, I had to abandon the mindset that I should be enough and I should be able to figure this out myself. To acknowledge that I needed help was key. Here's the real truth. You are inherently, deeply valuable, but you're not self-sufficient, and that's okay. And once you realize that, it's actually freeing. You were never meant to carry everything alone. Real strength comes when you realize that we need to depend on each other and ultimately on God. So, self-help lie number 2, follow your heart. This one encourages women to follow their desires, their feelings, and just whatever impulse they're having that day as the path to happiness.
I'm the kind of person that believes you should always make decisions with your heart and soul.
But what does that even actually mean? Does it mean I just follow my feelings and do whatever I feel like doing that day, like I'm some hitchhiker through life with no goals and no direction? Come on, we all know that that's not how life works. Think about a CEO that you know. Did she get there because she just got up every day and followed her feelings? Or the rocket that SpaceX puts up into space, did that just magically get there because the engineers did what they felt like doing? Maybe more importantly, think about a mom who's raising connected, well-adjusted, happy kids. Did that happen because she just followed her heart or let her kids follow their heart every day? That's not how life works. The truth is, your emotions are real and they're important, but they're designed to follow. You have to lead your heart. You have to lead your emotions. This whole idea of following your heart reminds me of self-help guru Glennon Doyle. She talks about this a lot, like following your heart. And a few years ago, she left her husband because her inner knowing was telling her that she should. And she eventually married soccer star Abby Wambach. But is she really happier? Are her kids really better off? I don't know. It's okay to feel deeply. Emotions are important, but they shouldn't be a GPS for your life all on their own. We have to weigh our feelings against wisdom and experience and the bigger picture. Lead with wisdom and your emotions will follow. Okay, self-help mantra number 3, protect your energy.
But I do think that we do drag our own selves down. We put all the energy into the negativity and amplify it.
You can measure the energy field of the body like somewhere between 4 and 6 feet off the body. The body doesn't end right here at the skin. The body is multidimensional. I'm putting energy into the field around somebody's body, and I'm changing their energy system just by the way I interact with it.
Yep, energy fields, literally. But let's be fair. I think most of the self-help advice out there that says to protect your energy isn't talking about this mumbo jumbo, woo-woo energy fields. I think what they're getting at is protect your peace, avoid people and things that drain you. The problem with this one, it makes comfort a higher priority than compassion. It can justify selfishness or even cutting off hard but still worthwhile and important relationships. It tells you to avoid challenges that might actually cause you to grow. And don't get me wrong, of course you have to protect your energy, and of course you shouldn't allow yourself to be run over by people who only have their self-interest at heart or who are trying to manipulate you. But don't let it become an excuse to just be lazy. I have a friend who was so into protecting her energy. She went through a season when she was stressed about her finances, and so she would stay home from work a lot to protect her energy. Pretty soon, those financial concerns got real because she stayed home and protected her energy right out of a job. Here's the truth. You're called to steward your energy, not hoard it. Use it wisely, not out of fear. Look, your energy matters, but it's not just for you. The people who make a real difference in the world aren't just the most rested. They're the ones that are the most committed to something bigger than themselves. All right, self-help mantra number 4. Speak your truth or live your truth. You know, this one's everywhere. The idea the culture pushes is that everyone has their own version of truth and that somehow sharing your truth is sacred. And if anybody dares to disagree with what your truth is, then they're oppressing you or they're somehow victimizing you.
What I know for sure is that speaking your truth is the most powerful tool we all have.
Here's the problem with that. It confuses your personal experience, which of course can be valuable, but it confuses it with universal truth. It dismisses the idea that truth can be found, agreed upon, and shared. Here's the biggest problem in my mind. It makes confrontation off limits, even when correction might be needed. This whole idea of sharing your truth makes me remember the Amber Heard case a few years ago. She shared her perspective on what went down with Johnny Depp, but ultimately the public and even a jury didn't agree it was the whole story. So when your truth comes out as not the actual truth, it can really damage reputations. Here's a better way to think about it. Don't try to speak your truth. Try to speak the truth. Speak it with courage, with humility, and with love. Of course, there's real power in telling your story, but it's important to realize that your story might not be the story. Courage isn't just about speaking. It's about speaking wisely, about being grounded in truth, and yes, being open to correction. And self-help lie number 5, let go of what no longer serves you. The culture says if it's a pain, if it drains you, if it's something uncomfortable, quit it. Just let it go.
First change I make is to send that two-faced little brat off to boarding school in Timbuktu.
Oof. Here's the problem with that thinking. Just because something is hard or doesn't revolve around your comfort doesn't mean it's not worthwhile. In fact, lots of things that are very hard ultimately bring you the most joy in life. Take parenting, for example. If you're the parent who treats your kids like they're all about you and they're a big annoyance when it's difficult for you, you're going to be a terrible parent. Or how about sticking with a marriage through a hard season? You come out on the other side with your family intact, honoring the vows you made, and most people come out on the other side happier in the long run. Life is full of things that don't serve us in the short term, but bring meaning and joy in the long term. This whole idea of letting go what doesn't serve you reminds me of Meghan Markle and how she walked away from the royal family when she found out that they weren't there just to make her an official royal celebrity. Here's a better way to think about it. Let go of sin in your life, bitterness, unforgiveness, behaviors that are harming you, but don't let go of people or responsibilities or opportunities for growth just because they're hard in the moment. The truth is, the very best things in life often don't serve you. In fact, they require you to serve them. But growth comes from endurance, not just taking the easy route. Never trade purpose for comfort. All right. That's it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'd love to know what you think. Which of these lies have you believed and how did you break free? Or do you think there's some big self-help mantra out there that I missed? Let me know in the comments. And if this show was helpful to you, I'd love for you to like and subscribe and share it with someone you love.